Welcome back into the Sean podcast. Coming at you early. Got a nice little wrestling podcast set up for you. Actually, it's not little at all. We got a lot of stuff going on. It's probably going to be another dual episode. So buckle in. Get yourself ready. Get that, I don't know if they still be doing the TV dinners or gourmet dinners. Or maybe get your steak. Let's get on. Sean, say what's up to the people.
What's up and welcome back, Fighting Family. We missed you. If you're new to us, come on in, take your shoes off, have a seat, get comfortable, because this week is going to be an exciting week to be a wrestling fan. On Monday, we got Raw, the go-home show to WrestleMania. Tuesday, we got the WWE Hall of Fame. Wednesday, we have night 1 of Stand and Deliver and Dynamite. Thursday, we got night 2 of Stand and Deliver and Impact. Friday, we have the go-home show for SmackDown, which is really going to be a WrestleMania kickoff show. And then Saturday, night 1 of WrestleMania, as well as Impact's Hardcore Justice. And then Sunday is going to be night 2 of WrestleMania. Whew. Man, this is going to be a good week. I'm excited for it. And happy Easter. Happy Easter.
That's what it is. Yeah, holidays. For some reason, my brain don't recognize holidays until I get the day off of work.
It's been a long year. I don't think the calendar really matters at this point. I lose track of what days it is. I'm like, it's Easter.
We're 3 months into the year.
It's been a long year, okay?
All right. Well, that being said, we got some more just set up for you. So we are going to be previewing everything in these 2 episodes. Next week, we will not have an episode. There's too much going on. We want you to be able to digest your wrestling and not worry about having to see what us 2 jerk-offs have to say.
Again, amateur opinions that you've come to know and love.
Even on ourselves. You can wait to the next time around until we get to our reactions in. We also are fans, so we want to get a watch in our comfort and stuff and not have to worry about, we have to do a show. We'll get you our reactions the next week. Trust me, I'm sure there'll be a lot of fun stuff that'll go on. Now, with that said, we do got a lot to go into, so let's get into it.
Let's do it.
I'm trying to, make it sound dramatic. So we're starting with Impact Wrestling. We'll go first match, and I believe this is Fire and Flavor versus Havoc and Nevaeh. And let's be honest, we've seen this match before. Fire and Flavor have Havoc and Nevaeh's number pretty much. This match, I think, was less done up to have them go against Fire and Flavor because I think this match was more of a setup for what happened after the match. What do you think, Sean?
The match. Oh, I fully agree with you. I mean, what have we seen recently? We've seen Havoc and Nevaeh losing, but we've seen Nevaeh being the one who's been taking the losses. So in this match, Havoc is the one who took the loss, and what happened afterwards? They had an emotional moment where they're both feeling like, oh, we lost, and they're really just distraught about that. And you think they're making up, you think they're good, you think Nevaeh's forgiving Havoc for losing. Havoc turns to leave the ring, and then what happens? She gets attacked from behind by Nevaeh. I like this. I think we've seen bits and pieces. We've seen it coming a little bit. Last week definitely gave us that tease for it. This week it happens because they just haven't been on the same page. And I'm kind of excited for this.
See, I like the way they did it too, because they clearly put a clear-cut thing here. Havoc is going to be face and Nevaeh is going heel. You attack somebody from behind, you're heel. It's plain and simple.
You sure are. That's a heel move. And you know what I liked about this? I liked that the split up happens earlier.
Yes.
It didn't get drawn out like some other promotions that we talk about on this show that will tease a breakup for like 4 months at a time. and then the breakup happens. Like, finally it happens. This, it happened so soon, it almost takes you by surprise. I liked it.
Also, we had some backstage stuff with Kenny Omega, Good Brothers, Don Callis looking at Finn Juice, and Kenny Omega and Don Callis praising Finn Juice. What's going on there? Like, the Good Brothers are here for you, Kenny Omega. What's going on? Like, you shouldn't be sitting there like praising the guys that have their titles.
It's interesting, and I think we're gonna get to a similar topic when we start talking about Dynamite. But what have we seen Don Callis doing? Like, is Don Callis trying to, do the reverse psychology to get the Good Brothers all jacked up to want to get their titles back and be part of the team? Or is Don Callis trying to drive a wedge between the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega? What's he doing?
I'm wondering.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now on to another match.
Yep.
This is Sami Callihan and Larry D. Fun match. I'm gonna say this right now though, for Impact Wrestling, I hadn't really had many favorites or anything, or anybody that I was really gravitating to yet. But Sami Callihan is quietly getting there. I know he's supposed to be this sick, twisted dude. I don't care. Dude is fantastic. Even the back and forth with Trey Miguel in the back, where he's saying he's doing all this to get that killer instinct out of Trey Miguel, and now he wants to tag with him. The dude is seriously delusional in an awesome way.
It's a little bit intriguing. You're thinking, with this matchup, Sami Callihan ended up winning, but what happened after the match? Triple XL started attacking Sami Callihan, and part of me was thinking, all right, well, where's Trey Miguel? I was kind of expecting Trey to come out and help Sami, because what happened last week? Sami came out and he helped Trey. So I'm thinking, all right, what are we doing? What are we teasing here? We had a backstage session between the two of them. They sat down, they talked, and Sami wants to be alliance. Wants to have an alliance. And what's Trey thinking? Trey's like, nope, not gonna happen.
He knows Sami. And from what I hear, Sami Callihan's that guy he's just one of those master manipulators.
Yeah, at first I wasn't thinking that they were going to have an alliance together, but then after that backstage session, it looked like they were going to. And it's like, whoa, I just got swerved here. I kind of like that, because that's better than Raw creative, which was nice.
Not to mention, whatever that DDT he did.
You mean that pile driver while Larry D was between the ropes?
Yeah.
That was
whatever. That looked
maybe
painful. That looked painful.
Maybe it'll show up on our top 5 devastating moves for the week.
Hey,
Who
never
knows?
know.
Stay tuned.
All right, let's move along. Next, Brian Myers goes against somebody I haven't seen yet. I don't know if Suicide's supposed to be a guy who is something or not, but he looked like a jobber to me. To bring Brian Myers back up, so when he goes against his best friend.
Yep. Well, there's not much there. A win against a jobber.
That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like, right?
It really did. It really
nothing
did.
wrong with that. You need jobbers. That's what the WWE for Raw and SmackDown need to understand. You can't have your stars be jobbers. All right, moving on. Had another casino moment. Only thing I'm saying about this is those pants, man. Those pants. All right.
Do you want a pair?
Maybe the lounging. All right, so a match I should like that I didn't like: Ace Austin and Madman Fulton versus TJP and Josh Alexander. I didn't think this was necessary. I really don't. I don't understand why we're doing this.
You didn't like that match? I thought it was a pretty good match between
No.
the two teams.
I don't think it's necessary though. You get what I mean? Like, we're having a match to have a match.
Yeah.
Why is Josh Alexander and TJP even teaming together?
I mean, it's Ace Austin and Madman Fulton.
There's no reason.
I'll agree with that. It was a good match. What's the storyline for it?
Now,
Where is it going? That I don't know.
For another week, one of my favorite things is something that happened not in a wrestling ring. So there's two little segments. First, Jazz goes and attacks Susan. That was, well then. So we have an angry Jazz now. And then the best segment of the whole night was Tommy Dreamer announcing the number one contender elimination, whatever it is, and everybody's reaction, especially Rosemary.
She was really excited for this match. What did Tommy Dreamer call it? He called it a multi-woman knockouts scramble match. He called it a scramble match.
I don't know.
I have no idea. Like, in my mind, I'm thinking this is like an eliminator match, gauntlet eliminator match. That's what I have in my mind. It could end up being a battle royale. The name of it just sounds really weird. It reminds me of when Dynamite did that bunkhouse match, and I'm like, what the hell is a bunkhouse match?
You got Rosemary off to the side, sitting there like, weapons. Oh, weapons.
She was really excited for that match. Tennille, not so much. A couple other people.
Havoc was
much.
excited. And then I have no clue what was going on at the end there. I thought the girl was speaking proper words, but Tommy Dreamer said he doesn't understand what she's talking about.
You know what I would have liked to have seen in that part? And I don't know the storylines or where they're going with it yet, but what I would have liked to see is Nevaeh be part of that.
Yeah,
because then you get Havoc and Nevaeh in a hardcore match, and there's 4 other women in there too, so you're not just focusing on them, but you're kind of teasing that, getting that storyline created for those two. Like, that would have been really good. But maybe Tommy Dreamer didn't know that they were going to be separating, because this is all new and he didn't know anything about this. So in his mind, he's like, well, I'm not going to put 2 team members together to go against each other. So, but I would have liked to have seen Nevaeh.
All right, so moving on to another real cool part. So the manipulating Don Callis goes in the back and messing with people again. I forgot the guy's name, I'm sorry, but trying to mess with them about Rick Swann. Rick Swann shows up, has the great line saying, if you weren't president of whatever, I'd slap them
yeah.
I'd slap them glasses right off your face.
Yeah, that was Don and Willie Mack were backstage. They had that little segment. And again, this is going to be something common, because we're going to talk about something similar when it comes to Dynamites. So stay tuned. But what happened, we had that brawl between, Mack. You had
I was
Rich Swann came in.
Because at first I'm like, okay, now the Good Brothers are here. It's Kenny Omega. This is what they were whispering. And then someone else showed up. And I'm like, wait, who's helping them? Who's that? Oh, it was Eddie Edwards. It was Eddie Edwards.
He's like, I need a backpack stun someone else through a table. I'm going to find my next victim here.
Remember last week, Eddie Edwards, he was holding his own against Anderson. And then what happened? Interference.
Gallows just knocks him in the head with a chair. Come on.
Yep. That dang ref. Making him go. The ref made him get the chair. He's like, why not use it?
Man, the refs are useless. Oh, man.
And then, all right, moving on to the main event. Some more. I might have missed something. I understand, but we're trying to speed through. We're trying to touch point on the major talking points. All right, so the main event. This is another bit of fun storytelling for Impact in particular. My understanding is these guys have been there from the beginning. So we have James Storm in his 1,000th match. Goodness.
1,000th match in the Impact promotion.
Right.
Wow. Congratulations on a career there, James Storm. 1,000 matches. That's impressive.
But he's facing off against the leader of Violent by Design, Mr. Eric Young. And then something that comes back around is my understanding James Storm used to be partners with a guy named Chris Harris, who's a massive dude. I'm just saying. Well, everybody had their little friends or minions, whatever you want to call them, out at ringside. The match was good. There's some hard hits. There's some nice stuff being done. There's some stuff being done off the top rope by big men here. These are not small guys. This is not the X division here.
No, you wouldn't expect it. No.
But it culminated where there was a brawl. I think James Storm might have jobbed it and fell outside, kind of like he's like felt that momentum. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna tumble all the way out. And then big brawl ensued outside. Everybody's distracted, and Chris Harris takes a shot at Eric Young, and gives James Storm this opportunity to get that 1, 2, 3.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's not forget that Eric Young was trying to cheat, getting a mask, right? We don't know what he was doing, but it kind of looked like he was trying to cheat.
You expect that.
Yeah. But Chris Harris stopped him. That allowed James Storm to come in. I believe he finished him off with a super kick.
Yep.
Which,
finally,
was only one, which
a super kick finisher.
Yes, the first one. It wasn't like they gave like Jey Uso delivering 7 super kicks to Kevin Owens' face while he's trapped inside of a Hell in a Cell door or Elimination Chamber door. It was one super kick for the win. Thank you.
I mean, that was a big man super kick.
Maybe that's what the difference is. Maybe main event Jey Uso isn't that big of a guy to take someone out with one super kick, but James Storm certainly is.
Moving on, we're gonna do our predictions for Hardcore Justice. We do know the card's not full yet. We're gonna do what we can now, and then we're gonna fill it in more later. So, Sean, what are the matches?
All right, so right now we have 2 matches that are officially on the card. Now, that's what we know. We're going to find out more later this week. So we're going to do our 2 picks now, and then we're going to update them via social media once we know more of the matches. So our first match is the Impact Knockouts Championship versus Career match. Because in this episode of Impact, was it Deanna? No, it wasn't Deanna. Jazz came up to Tommy Dreamer. He's like, I want a shot at Deonna Purrazzo and her title. And Tommy Dreamer's like, you got to give something in return. What are you giving in return? And her career came up. So we have Deonna Purrazzo's championship versus Jazz's career. And for this one, I don't think Jazz's time is done, but it's Deanna's time to drop the belt. So I'm going Jazz with 2.
I'm going to go Jazz also. With 1, just to be different there. But, when you got these career matches, I'm sorry. Jazz is, she's kind of been carrying the women's division recently. I know Deanna's the champion, but Jazz is the draw. Look at the matches she's been having, even with Deanna, or the tag match that they had. Like, she has been fantastic. No way she's going anywhere.
No, which is surprising why you're giving her 1. Just to be different. I get it.
Hey, if we get some more matches, that'll change.
All right, and then our second known match is the number 1 contender multi-woman knockout scramble match. And that one, we have Jordynne Grace, we have Rosemary, we have Havoc, Tenille Dashwood, Alicia, and maybe Susan? But probably Susan in there. Again, I'm surprised they didn't have Nevaeh in this one. It'd be nice to start that feud, but they're going to save that for later. That's cool too. For me, I'm going to go with Jordynne Grace, which would set up nicely a Jordynne Grace and Jazz match that I've been waiting for. I don't know about you. I've been waiting for.
Well, I've talked about it. It's just they haven't teased it yet. They haven't really teased it. So, I'm actually going to go with a dark horse here. I'm going to give you the front line to win this one. Oh yeah, I'm doing it. I'm going with the person most excited for the match, who this match is actually probably most suited to, Rosemary.
Rosemary, yes.
Probably the most sick and twisted out of any of them there.
Yep, and we already know what to expect with this whole card because the name of it is Hardcore Justice, exactly. And Tommy Dreamer's the one putting it together. So exactly. We already know what to expect. We know to expect what? Garbage cans, garbage can lids, kendo sticks, right. Bats.
Here's the thing.
Everything.
I'm fine with garbage cans. Just don't do, what was it, 2000 Rumble? We don't need garbage in the garbage cans.
No. We gotta be sanitary to some degree, so
please,
empty garbage cans, please.
All right, moving on to AEW. They've had a hell of a stretch, haven't they? They've had the last couple episodes. Goodness.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to take note that with WWE's new agreement with USA Network, it's going to push the NXT to Tuesday nights following Raw, which means that AEW stands alone on Wednesday nights. People have called it the Wednesday Night Wars, but I don't think it was really a war. It's like a feud, a battle.
And here's the thing.
It certainly wasn't a war like WCW was back in the day.
Here's the thing. You're more invested in the NXT storylines, but you now agree week in and week out AEW is the best show on regardless of any. Well, let me back this up. We both agree NXT and AEW are actually the best shows in wrestling, but right now
I'll agree
AEW is the best week in, week out.
Yeah, consistency purposes, AEW was getting the better of NXT. I know there were some weeks where NXT did their specials, like their almost midweek pay-per-views, like the Great American Bash, New Year's Evil, things like that, where they got an advantage, but it was just weekly. Other than that, AEW is winning, and I'm really hoping that this change will allow NXT to just go back and not have to worry about the ratings war and who's going to win that week, and just let them get back to their storytelling and get back to the stories.
Right.
And I think that's where they're going to excel, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, on top of that, Impact is moving from Tuesdays to Thursdays. Yes. So now none of them are going to have any real competition.
No, I mean, how great is this to be a wrestling fan? Not just this week, but the following week. I mean, going forward, we got Raw on Monday night. We got NXT on Tuesday night. We got Dynamite on Wednesday. We got Impact on Thursday. We got SmackDown on Friday. And we got the weekend to talk about it. How fun is this?
Well, yeah, this is going to be... it's going to be a lot. But, all right, getting into it. And they got into it. First match, Christian Cage, Frankie Kazarian. And a hell of a match it was.
Yes. What you're normally thinking is when someone's new to the promotion, when they have their debut match, it's like a squash match, like 3 to 5 minutes. They just get over on the person. Kind of like, I forgot the most recent person with AEW came in and did a match like that. But, it's what you normally see. No competition. I really like this match. It was a great debut. Christian Cage, Frankie Kazarian, they did a great job. I mean, we had some good action, we had some good false finishes, and I didn't mind the length. I think the match was like 15 to 17 minutes, which is longer than you normally expect. And, you can tell Christian Cage for regular TV, like you're thinking your 15, 20-minute matches are saved for the pay-per-views. But this one, I really enjoyed this on Dynamite. I thought it was a great way to kick off. Christian Cage may have looked a little winded toward the end, but I think overall he did really well. He's in good shape. He's got good conditioning. It's just getting back into the weekly swing of things. I really like this match. Welcome back, Christian Cage.
I only have one issue with it, and that's I think Christian went for the kill switch way too often.
No. You know, when he kept missing on the kill switch, I was almost expecting, does he have a new finisher he's going to try instead?
Right.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping for that. It was nice to see Kazarian using a new finisher, or at least attempted finisher with the cross-face chicken wing, little Bob Backlund action going in there.
And whatever he did off the top rope, it looked almost like a Spanish fly, but it wasn't. It's a nominee for devastating moves. Whatever that move was, nasty. All right, but moving on. Someone get Jade Cargill a manager, please. Get her off the mic, please.
Yes, I fully agree there.
I'm sorry, she's boring.
I wanna like Jade Cargill. I really do. I wanna like her. I wanna see her dominate. But yeah, it's something about the promos that she delivers, and I felt this way in the very beginning when she first appeared. It's like there's something missing in the promo. Maybe she's just new, maybe she's raw, maybe it's a little nervousness that's going into everything because this is all new for her. But now she's been in there for a couple of months, and it's just not connecting for me. It's like I'm missing something.
Here's the problem. Jade Cargill would be great in WWE. She'd be fantastic because she'd fit in the way they do things. But it's with everybody else. AEW is more of a natural promotion. She does not sound natural. She sounds like she's very scripted, and she's talking from a script. I'm actually going to jump to another thing real quick because there's another promo that went over. Fantastic again. Britt Baker. And I know you're probably going to say they're wasting her. Why is she on the sidelines just doing promos? I already see where you're going. But she's dang good at them. Yeah,
I didn't like the Britt Baker promo, and it wasn't because she didn't do a good job. Like, she did fantastic. She's good on the mic. She's good at talking. She's good at creating that heat and really getting that energy. Like, yes, I feel it. But what I didn't like was, similar to what I mentioned last week, I don't think AEW is doing enough still to build off of that epic match that she had weeks ago, that unsanctioned match. It just doesn't feel like they're doing anything with it. It's almost like they're wasting that momentum.
I don't see...
That's me, though.
I can see what you're saying, but I can see one of two things about to happen. Either she's gonna come out and do a surprise and, like, you know, go after Sheeta or somebody, and they're teasing something here. Technically, that loss to Thunder Rosa doesn't count in her win-loss category.
Unsanctioned.
Yep. Hey. So I think they are building something here, because remember, the win-loss categories for AEW actually matter.
What?
Yeah,
that's crazy. It
matters
talk.
If you have been winning or losing if you get a title shot.
So it matters. That's a strange concept.
All right, moving on. Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall. I could have done without the match, but I love what happened after the match.
Yeah, you're thinking the match itself was underwhelming because, you know, we already knew that Cody wasn't going to go 100% against QT Marshall, so we knew we weren't getting a full match, and that was a little disappointing.
Yeah.
And again, it just continues to build on that. QT Marshall continues to be overshadowed and almost disrespected by Cody, thinking, you can't handle it if I go 100% against you. So I can see that it was building. It's Cody. I didn't like the match too much. But, QT Marshall
We're
gets
on the
knocked
same
out of
page.
the ring. Cody, he sits on the ropes, gives him that opening to come back in. Eventually,
Clapping.
QT comes in. But yeah, it's almost condescending in a way. Like, Cody's like, I'm better than you. And that's like the feelings that we're getting. But what I really like next was QT Marshall gets back in the ring, and then boom, decks Arn Anderson. Now we got a disqualification. Now is where the fun starts.
Yep. And that's the thing. Like, the whole family comes in, or whatever they're called.
Factory, family, whatever.
Yeah. The whole factory gets in the ring. QT's at the I don't know, what do you call that? The top of the stage, like their little walkway.
Oh,
It's very unique.
Walkway, entryway.
Yeah.
Well,
He's at the top of the entryway, looking like all distraught, like, what have I done? I just hit Arn Anderson. What have I done? And then it happened.
now we knew
Members
what he
of
had
the
done.
factory start attacking other members of the factory, and then QT's face just starts to change, like he's a super villain.
Yep,
It's the
I think
super villain reveal.
we got a new heel faction forming, and very similar to when we were talking about, Impact.
But at the same
and
time, you
seeing
can
the
agree
separation.
with their grievance. It's not like Pinnacle, where these guys are just bad dudes. You can agree with these guys' grievance here. Cody is entitled.
Ooh. So then that does create the question: QT Marshall and his new faction, are they heel?
Are they? Yes, they are heel. Because they did some things. They did some things.
They did heel moves. Lee Johnson took a really nasty power bomb from the ring to that walkway.
The steel
Dustin
stairs.
Rhodes, got the pile driver on the steel stairs.
Going after Arn Anderson again. I mean, leave that old man alone. Two of the former Four Horsemen had very bad nights. Just saying.
They did. It wasn't a good night for a horseman. No.
But I'm just saying, like they are heel, but like they're a dynamic heel because you can agree with their grievance. Not only is Cody entitled, but it does look like he looks down upon him. And honestly, these guys who came out, where have they been? Lee Johnson's getting his opportunity. That massive man who picked up them stairs, where has he been?
Yeah, and I think that's along the lines of, what QT Marshall's been saying against Cody Rhodes.
Where's the
like we're being
opportunity?
held back. Exactly. And, speaking of Cody Rhodes and what bothers me about him. So, question watching this week, and I've seen it before, I just never clicked, question it, is why is Cody Rhodes the only person whose entrance allows him to come out
you saw that too?
the center
You saw that too?
gates? Like, everybody comes out one of the two sides, left, right, that's what we always
I saw
see.
that nonsense.
Why is Cody the only one who gets to come out the middle?
Because he's got shares in the company.
Why doesn't Kenny Omega then? Like, you could make the argument that Kenny Omega should be coming out.
He's the
center.
champion.
That's something that he should do. He's also an EVP.
Well,
So,
with the brooms, it would make more sense for Kenny Omega because he's got the girls with the brooms for him to come out the middle. That would make so much more sense. But hey,
all right.
well,
I
it's
can't
Cody,
wait until
whatever.
go to your reality
not a fan.
show, Cody. Go to the reality show, and then we had QT Marshall was getting ready to hit Cody with steel chairs
And
on
then
top
Red
of
Velvet
the
comes-
steps. Red Velvet comes out. And what happened next? They stop, they walk away. We have a backstage
Alright.
segment with Red Velvet doing, why did you come out there and protect him? And this is the part where I liked Jade Cargill the most, and the most I've seen her. She comes out, she attacks Red Velvet, and what
goes away.
happens? Like, we see something natural, like you made me break my heel, and I love that part. I love that part. It's like, I don't think that was scripted.
Right.
It felt normal. It felt natural. I'm like, this, I would like Jade Cargill more if we could see more of this.
But
that would be
am
nice.
I the only one who sat there and like, it's kind of awkward when Red Velvet came out? The way she came out, where like she's diving on him instead of like getting in the way. Like, it just felt a little awkward for me. I'm like, man, that's Brandy's husband. Don't be touching him.
Awkward or long-term storytelling?
Maybe we can come back to it. Now, moving on to this. We have promotion with Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. Unlike the breaker for me, I don't care about this one. Do something. I'm sorry, like, Scorpio Sky, I mean, he's been on the shelf a little too long for me to not build on his heel turn.
What bothers me the most about all of this is, we saw Scorpio Sky grab the brass ring at the last pay-per-view. We saw Ethan Page debut at the last pay-per-view. Why did they have Scorpio Sky challenge for the title so soon after he got the brass ring? There was no build. There was no
I agree.
no feud to develop, and I think it was a wasted opportunity for him. And then you have Ethan Page, who had this debut, and there's excitement around it. And then what do they do with him?
And poor Lee Johnson.
Yeah, I feel I hurt watching that power bomb. Yeah,
that ego's edge though, from Ethan Page, dog. I mean, I guess you an expert of falling on your back. All right, let's move off on this one because it's not. Let's go to one that's fun. All right, Cesar Bononi. Dude's had a bad couple weeks. Like, I do not envy this man. I know he's big and everything. But, you gotta do Hangman last week and Jon Moxley this week? Come on, man.
Like, what's AEW doing? Like, are you giving him a push? Are you trying to get him a push? Or are you just trying to bury him?
Who did he piss off? Like, and am I wrong? Is that Dolph Ziggler's little brother?
Not at all. I wasn't a big fan of the match overall. Like, I didn't like the match itself, but what I do enjoy seeing is a good submission victory that ends in a chokehold, someone being choked out. I enjoy seeing that.
Which Moxley said he was going to do beforehand.
Yeah. It wasn't an overly great match, though. Yeah.
Are Moxley's promos just getting better and better?
I think so.
Just it's like in the back. It's like, this is pissing me off. I don't like being pissed off, but
I understand he looks like a lifeguard or someone from Baywatch. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah. All right, Team Taz.
Yes.
I need this to happen. I know we're doing long-term storytelling, but I need Brian Cage versus Ricky Starks. I need Brian Cage to destroy Ricky Starks. Please.
Yep. I agree with everything you're saying there. Yep. Let's see it. Let's done a good job.
Let's get the Jersey Shore breakup.
Yeah. We saw that QT Marshall and the Cody feud, that separation happens pretty quickly. But Cage and Stark, they're drawing out a little bit more. You can see the tension.
It though. I love it though because just their mic work is so good. Because
as long as they keep that up,
you get Ricky Starks out. Well, this is what I'm thinking, and then you guys like, what do you think, Brian Cage? Oh, you want to know what I'm thinking? That's a change.
I think if you'd have tagged me in sooner, we would have won sooner. I like that. I like that.
Oh, Brian Cage is getting fantastic. And Taz has no idea what to do. And then we have the return of the Inner Circle.
Yes.
Why they're
So,
hanging out in the
MJF,
bathroom, I have no idea.
I don't know how they snuck in there without noticing, but you see MJF, you see the Pinnacle in Inner Circle's locker room, and MJF's like, we got this interior designer, we're going to make over this room, we're going to upgrade it, we're going to get rid of this awful stench that's coming from the bathroom.
Real quick, though.
Walks over to
before
the
we
bath.
get fully into it, MJF is a freaking legend. Okay? Because he is committed fully to this character. Doing a little research, listening to certain things. Did you know that MJF once flicked off a kid?
I did not know.
And then Cody had to come out and say, be careful when you bring your kids around MJF because that's not going to change. And then when MJF was asked about it, he said, excuse my language here, this is MJF's. He said, fuck them kids. Legend.
Well, that's one way to get heat. One way.
So, getting that stench out the bathroom.
Yep. MJF goes to open up the door, and what does he see? He sees the members of the Inner Circle, led by Chris Jericho, standing in the bathroom. Quickly, close the door. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta get out. And what happens? They try to leave the locker room, and who's there waiting when he opens the door? Jake Hager. Jack Hager. Jack Hager's standing there, and then the brawl ensues, and it was quite physical. It was quite fun to watch. We see the Inner Circle getting the best of them. We see Sammy Guevara slamming heads in doors. We see Jericho.
Might show up later.
Yeah. We see Jericho smashing MJF's face through the Pepsi machine or whatever machine was in their locker room.
I don't know which member of FTR was bleeding.
Oh, yeah.
Jake Hager, what is it? What's it? Warlow went through the massage table.
Yeah.
So, I just love how he's like, leave him there.
Man, there was a lot to like in this episode, and I'm glad we finally got to see the Inner Circle come back.
And then that other horseman got beat up too.
Yeah, he did. They all got beat up.
But it's their locker room. They messed up their Pepsi machine, but it's their locker room. I'm just saying, you could throw them into something else. All right, Don Callis messing with Matt Jackson. I mean, what do we really need to go more into this? This is what Don Callis does.
Yeah, and it's almost similar to what he was doing on Impact. Is he trying to drive a wedge between the Young Bucks, especially Matt Jackson, and Kenny Omega?
You know that.
Yep.
So then we have
But it's almost another point where Don Callis almost got his butt whipped, right? Because he ends up slapping Matt Jackson because he's not getting any emotion, any reaction. Yes, he's almost waiting for somebody to lay hands on him. But what's Matt Jackson thinking? If he's thinking the same thing Willie Mack was, it's, you're an EVP, I can't touch you. Although I want to, I can't.
Now, we got some matches, some damn good matches. That's the other part. We had some damn good matches. Not just Christian Cage and, Frankie Kazarian. We have Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus the Lucha Brothers and the Laredo Kid.
Yeah.
And there's some high flying. There was some a lot of teamwork. Like this whole match was fantastic. You get someone in the corner ropes, and then one guy's running at, the next guy's running out. Like, it was fast paced. It was hard to keep up with. I was exhausted.
Yeah, really fun to watch. There was a lot to like about this show this week. It was really good.
What is it? The one where Kenny puts Gallus on his back, and then Anderson jumps on their back as they fall on the Laredo Kid. Like, what?
Creative, and I like it.
But of course, they've been taking too many L's lately. They needed to get that dub, and the Lucha Brothers have been taking too many W's lately. So of course, Omega and the Good Brothers do get the W.
Order is being restored to the world. Yep.
But we're not done. Because who stumbles out the back?
Not through the center, mind you. Only Cody comes out that center gates.
Indeed. No. Remember, Moxley doesn't take the tunnel either. Moxley always comes out from outside. But this time he took the tunnel. But when he comes to the ring for his matches, he always comes down the outside ramp. But so Moxley stumbles up, looking like that drunk from last night. He did. He looked like he had a couple when he came out. And then he's standing staring at him like he's going to get down. And who comes out? It's the Young Bucks. And I'm sitting there wondering, are the Young Bucks going to turn on Moxley? What's going to happen here? Are they going to get into it? And they went to jump in the ring. Good Brothers and Kenny Omega jump out. And like AEW's nice style, we're going to get that match next week.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where the direction of the story is going because, you figure in Impact, the Good Brothers are going to get their titles back from FinJuice. They're going to get the titles back. Will they be spending any time over in Japan like FinJuice was just doing? Because if you're thinking if there's an extended period of time where the Good Brothers are going to be out, who's the team that could come in and help Kenny? The Young Bucks.
True. Or maybe Kenny's going to be all alone, just with his buddy Don Callis.
Maybe. It's interesting to see what the storyline is because I could easily see Young Bucks turning on Moxley, or I could easily see the Young Bucks separating completely from Kenny. It's like I can see it go both ways, and it's really intriguing. That's
why it's good booking.
Yeah, it's like I want to continue watching because I want to see what's going to happen.
All right, so now for another good match, we had Nyros and the Bunny versus Ty Conti and Shida. Dark Order come out. The MFO comes out. I'm calling them MFO. I'm not going to say the full thing. That's nonsense.
The Hardy Family Office, yeah.
That's the dumb name, MFO. They're a boy band.
HFO.
HFO, whatever. But the match itself was good. These women the Bunny actually, she got some skills. I was surprised. I thought she was just a manager.
Yeah, and I can see why Matt Hardy's trying to push for her to get more of the singles and get more in the ring. She looked good out there. I want to see more.
I know we talking about NXT having the best women's division, but AEW's women's division is getting pretty good, my friend.
It is. I mean, it can catch up and they could pass NXT. Could.
Well, especially with they need to do something with the face. And they made her the face. Once she pulled the Stone Cold, she became the face. And we're talking about Britt Baker for the people who don't understand. Stone Cold became Stone Cold because he got put in a sharpshooter while bleeding and his face was drenched in blood. And that iconic image made Stone Cold, who, that propelled his career to what he became. So what we're saying is that
match.
Britt Baker's face drenched in blood has propelled her career and they need to do something with it. Right?
Yes, something with it soon. Yeah, a lot of momentum. You're building up your women's division.
So, with this though,
come on.
I think that both Shida and Ty Conti were too preoccupied with Matt Hardy himself. They kept getting up her hand and then looking at Matt Hardy like he's doing something in this match. He's not doing anything. Focus on your match. Wrestlers get too distracted too easily. Goodness.
They do.
Focus at ADE. So at one point, for whatever reason, both Ty Conti and Shida felt the need to jump on the WHO, and then when or the I don't know, the HFO, whatever. So then
HFO, yeah.
And I'm just gonna say this, Vicky, I need someone to beat her up. I do not like her face. I do not like what she does. She's the most annoying character of all time. But Vicky
brings
Guerrero,
the heat.
She distracts the ref. The bunny gets the kendo stick, hits Ty Conti with the kendo stick, then hits her with whatever that finishing move was. Dang. And Bunny gets the victory. No, you know this had to happen. Bunny hasn't wrestled in how long? They got to showcase her somehow. Show that she's an actual threat. So she needed to get a victory. But she couldn't get it on Shida because that would say, oh, wait, does she need a title shot? And we're not getting in there yet.
Yeah. You got to protect Shida, so it made sense for Ty Conti to take the loss here. She could afford it.
I'm only bringing this one next part up because I find it real funny. We're going to do it real briefly. The Jurassic Express. He was so excited when they said Kong. He's like, Kong? He was so excited until they realized they were going to shit on Kong. And then he's like, let me hide that.
Exciting, that giant Kong tattoo he has on his forearm. Yeah.
Luchasaurus, what's that? What's that? Is that Kong? We're the dinosaurs.
Oh, that was funny. I like that.
Now, on to the event that Sean really wants to talk about.
Good card, best match of the whole show, in my opinion.
They book
maybe a little biased
their main events properly.
Oh yeah, they did a really good job. This was the Arcade Anarchy match with Miro and Kip Sabian against
versus
freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, my boy, and Chuck Taylor. And this match delivered for me. You know, it
did.
It's almost like it was supposed to be a hardcore tag match, and it was, just with, you had your weapons on the outside, which were really arcade games and anything related to an arcade. It was a really good match.
AEW turns hardcore matches into like nonsense names, like Buckyard Brawls,
Bunkhouse, and
whatever. Bunkhouse Brawls. Then
this name made sense though. This made sense. Arcade Anarchy. This one made sense because
but you had stuff
an
on
arcade
on the wall that didn't make sense.
There were prizes, you know, when you go to those, whatever the name of them would be. Like, you get your tickets for winning the game, you go to cash in your tickets for a prize, and they had all the prizes hung up. Except here, they're like barbed wire and a teddy bear, which we'll get back to in just a few moments. But there is so much to like about this match. You had Miro out there, and Miro was looking like a beast. You had
he's
Chuck
looking at
Taylor.
the monster he should.
Exactly, because Chuck Taylor, Orange Cassidy, they're doing everything humanly possible to keep him down. They knock him down. They throw tables on top of him. They throw the ring barrier on top of him. They had him
with the tables on top.
They did, and then what happened? Kip Sabian came in and saved him from the pin, which was really good to see, because you're thinking, Miro, as much of a beast he is, he's not getting out of that. So that was good to see. Good action all the way around. Good use of the arcade, like in the beginning where Orange Cassidy threw Kip Sabian through the whack-a-mole game and then started whacking him like he was the whack-a-mole. I enjoyed that. I really like that. And then later in the match, what do we have? Chuck Taylor getting Kip Sabian in the ring, and Chuck Taylor grabs the teddy bear and he brings it to the ring where there's tape on the back, so he tears back the tape, and just like you'd see Mick Foley bring out a bag of thumbtacks and pour the thumbtacks on the ring, Chuck Taylor rips open the back of the teddy bear, and he brings out something far more dangerous than thumbtacks. He pours out Lego pieces. And I loved it.
Legos.
Almost lost
if
it.
If you've ever stepped
Loved
on a
it.
Lego, woo.
You know the pain. You know the pain.
What I
And it's like
love,
small things like that made it really great.
what I love, I don't know if it was Shivani or JR, whichever one it was, is just to get them saying, you've never have anything, was it, you've never been on anything more unforgiving than a Lego.
Yep, so Britt Baker can talk about all the thumbtacks that she had taken out of her, but that pales in comparison to getting power bombed, I think it was, onto the thumbtacks by
But
Kip
then
Sabian.
Didn't Freshly Squeezed get Kip onto the Legos?
Yeah, I forgot what movie did, but yeah, Kip Sabian got put onto the
right.
Legos.
So what I loved about this match, Miro wasn't buried. He wasn't put under. There was you did not take anything away from him.
No.
You know, like he was still a monster. We'll get more to that. But all right, another thing, I learned more about AEW. I did not know there was a girl in the Best Friends group.
Chris Statlander. Yes. She's been injured for a little while. And there was a point where, Penelope was trying to interfere, trying to...
Well, she was interfering.
Yeah, I mean, she was trying to attack Orange Cassidy by that claw game. And then Chris Statlander just pops up from, the toy surprises. And then she just punches out the plexiglass that just smacks into Penelope Ford's face. That was fun to watch.
This move she's got coming up, maybe on Devastating Moves.
I think it might be in the top 5. I'm not going to tell you where, but I mean, not only did she just shove plexiglass into Penelope Ford's face, but she got Penelope Ford on the apron, and below the apron on the floor was an air hockey game. Mm-hmm. She did what was a Michinoku driver.
Something
her through the air table, the hockey table. That was
nasty. And they both was
and then what happened? And then what happens after that? Something even more exciting. The second half of Best Friends returns. Trent, mom drives him to the ring. He got a goodbye kiss from his mom, right? Right, he's a good son. And the Best Friends are reunited.
The mom is important here because they start going at Nero and Miro, and Miro was getting them all three. He was getting all three. But here's the thing: what did Miro mess up on? He went after the mama. Don't
Can't
do
go
that.
After Mama Bear.
We get that extra gear. You go after my mama.
Yep.
you know, that's an Incredible Hulk string, and that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean,
Trent
you're absolutely
came
right.
out with that Incredible Hulk string.
He did. You're right earlier when you're saying that they did a good job of putting Miro over, because for most of the match it was 2-on-1 against Miro. Then Trent arrives, and now it's 3-on-1 against Miro. But Miro's still, to some degree, holding his own, not just getting overly beaten. So that was all really good.
No, he actually got the upper hand. He was on the mother's car after he had wrecked everybody else. But
try to tear off the windshield wipers, yeah.
But and JR's like, he's got bad intentions. But you go after him. He spears him through a table.
Oh yeah.
And then you got Chuck up on top with Kip Sabian, and they go through a table. And then there's the pin for the 1, 2, 3.
It's like that running power slam really finished it. End of the match, we see it end with Best Friends hugging in the ring.
And then thumbs up to Mama.
Yeah.
Good job, Mama. It was a feel good. That was a feel good ending. That made me feel good inside, to be honest.
Good. That was a great way to end the show. You should try and aim for something to that degree weekly. It was really good.
Right. All right, so with all the content that we still have going on, we are going to try to push NXT in this episode because we got actually no. Yeah, we're going to end this one here. We're going to end this one here. NXT is going to go over to WWE. When we get to WWE, we're going to have to do some rapid fire because we got a lot of predictors. So we're going to end this one here. We'll give you some words of wisdom at the end of the next one. So for now, see you just a little bit later.